I do think at an end of a performance when I'm in my bath relaxing that being a ballerina is probably one of the oddest ways of earning a living at the end of the 20th century. All the work and pain I go through and put my body through, I do wonder why I want to get these blisters at all every day, you know. But I remember when I was little, when I first bought my pointe shoes, however painful it was so exciting.
You have to be a very special person. If I can quote Margot, somebody said to her, well, you know, if it's such agony, why do you go on, you know? And she said, well, you know, you when you're little and you're enjoying it and you're getting better and everything, and you're not in pain then, but then suddenly you're finding that you're having a success and that you're doing something and the world's applauding you, and then it's too late. So you have to keep going. It's the red shoes syndrome.
The first ballet I ever saw was Swan Lake when I was about 13. The thing that struck me the most about the performance was really the atmosphere of the theatre and the pitch blackness before the curtain went up and the conductor starting with the orchestra and that kind of buzz of, you know, what's it going to be like when the curtain opens. When I started ballet, about 5, I don't think anybody else thought I would ever be a dancer, only because I was incredibly clumsy. My mother said that she did want to straighten up my legs because I had very knock knees. Most of the time I'd be under the piano and my mum would come and get me and she'd go, hasn't she come out there underneath the piano? And the teacher would go, no, I haven't been able to get her out, you know. I think I was very undisciplined before I went to White Lodge. I always wanted to do what I wanted, you know, it was up to me what I wanted to do, and I think a lot of teachers were incredibly frustrated. My mother had been to White Lodge, and even though I had a hard time, it wasn't as strict as when she was there.
I loved White Lodge, and I loved going out to feed the deer, and I loved playing in the garden, but ballet dancers don't do that, or they didn't.
I like number 3. She's a lovely head, and very nice sense of movement. I think she should make a useful dancer, don't you, Dame Nanette?
I mean, she did have Dame Nanette de Valois as the head mistress. She was an amazing woman and very tough, and they all knew as soon as she came into a room, they were all terrified of this woman because, you know, she'd come down and put a stick down your back, you know, straight back, and, you know, nowadays things like that don't happen.
You always had to stop and curtsy to Madam, and she used to pound her stick quite a lot. I don't know whether it would be allowed nowadays, somebody to wield their stick quite so much. Yes, they were very, very ballet mistresses, but I suppose they are now.
I got to White Lodge when I was 13.
I don't think I fitted in at all because the girls there had been there already for 2 years. They all had their friends.
You talk about cliquey, nobody wanted to really talk to her or know her or anything. And we just moved into the dormitory and we were walking around the school. By the time we came back to the dormitory, the girls had already moved her bed right to the very end of the corridor because, you know, she'd be in the way, sort of thing. And that was the first day. And yes, she was in tears every day. And I had to leave her there at weekends and I hated doing it and it was awful.
They used to have these lovely glass windows where the stairs used to go down towards the studio. And I used to be devastated sometimes turning around and realizing there was quite a few students looking down at me, having a good laugh because they knew I couldn't do the exercises properly. If you don't have that discipline behind you and the people pushing you, you know, you'll have trouble. It seemed hard at first, but you had to become tough if you wanted to go into a ballet career. Now, being in the company, I realised, and I'm so glad I did those exercises.